Listen, the Washington Mystics just put belt to ass on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Sonia Citron was out there cooking with hot grease. Stir the pot, stir the pot. Keep cooking, Sonia. That was a show.
Washington 103, Chicago 86. 5 numbers that barely scratched the surface of the storm that ripped through Wintrust Arena. Rookie sensations. Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen didn't just rewrite a stat line, they hijacked an entire broadcast while Angel Reese, double-double crown shining, found herself the punchline to Live Mike chuckles.
6 for 16. Shot 35%, 22 points, 13 rebounds, got to the free throw line multiple times, 11 free throws for Angel Reese, but the bloopies were blooping, and oh boy, here we go.
By the time the final buzzer gasped, clashing narratives, dominance, humiliation, and a tweet storm waiting to happen were already circling overhead like hungry drones. Keep watching, because what unraveled in those 40 minutes will challenge everything you think you know about impact players.
All right, we go, right, easy open layup, and a stoink right off the bottom of the backboard, and we're just asking for a foul. We're asking for a foul. We throw the ball off the bottom, that's like the bottom side of the backboard, asking for a foul, no foul to be given in this current point in time.
Angel Reese's line, 22 points, 13 boards, looked heroic until you watched the Mystics waltz to 52 paint points while she patrolled the lane like an ornamental statue. The Sky have now lost 7 straight and sit at a grim 7-19, effectively needing a miracle just to sniff postseason air. That drought began before Reese returned from a back tweak, but her presence hasn't slowed the bleeding. It's intensified scrutiny. Each missed box out, each late rotation, each foul born of frustration magnifies the disconnect between personal numbers and collective failure.
Listen, man, Kiki Iriafen got the better of her today. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 14 shooting, man. Kiki stirring that pot on Angel today. Listen, the Chicago Sky are trash. And Washington Mystics, you are a 500 team fighting for the playoffs. You are scrapping to get into that playoffs, and I respect it. Led by 2 rookie all-stars, and Angel Reese had the nerve to say they have the best young core in the league.
Washington's rookie tandem sliced through switches with the swagger of veterans, while Chicago's help defense collapsed into a slow-motion shrug. Reese's admirers hailed the 11th consecutive double-double. Skeptics pointed to her -17 on-court rating and asked whether she's anchoring anything at all. And just when Sky fans braced for a merciful breather, the broadcast booth's accidental chuckle turned a tough night into a viral roast. Because if the commentators can't keep a straight face, how are the players supposed to keep theirs? Yet that embarrassed laugh was merely the overture. Next came a single taunt that told the league exactly where Chicago's interior pride really stands.
First of all, we all know the Indiana Fever had the best young core in the league with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. Forget young core, that's probably the best duo, period. So, during that whole thing, when she said, yo, we the skyscrapers, best young duo in the league. When she said that, I told y'all, we all knew CC and AB was better. That's not even a conversation.
Professional announcers pride themselves on neutrality, but midway through the first quarter, even they cracked. Reese gathered a wide-open feed under the rim, launched a shot with no defender in sight, and thudded the ball off the underside of the backboard. Her arms shot skyward for a foul call that never arrived, and a stifled but audible giggle escaped the play-by-play crew. One commentator caught himself, coughed mid-laugh, and forced a return to monotone analysis. But it was too late.
I said, wait a second. Are y'all sure, Angel, are you sure you and Camila are better than Sonia Citron and Kiki? The last I checked, the Washington Mystics had 2 rookies that made the All-Star team. And boy, did they show why today. They took this matchup personal.
Social media had clipped the moment before the next possession began, and did the announcers just laugh? Took off faster than any highlight Chicago produced. That split second of uncontrolled amusement carried more sting than 100 think pieces. It said opponents weren't the only ones doubting Chicago's star. Neutral voices were too. The Sky needed composure, but the universe served a meme instead. If that sting wasn't enough, the very next possession delivered a gesture that will haunt every defensive film session for weeks.
Listen to this. We have the commentators that are actually laughing at this.
To be able to attack and finish inside, and Washington has done that incredibly well so far. Reese missed the first one, still with it locked. Give this one to...
We have commentators laughing at this.
Shakira Austin pivoted past Reese on the right block, kissed the glass, and before her sneakers even touched hardwood, flashed the dreaded too small signal, hand at knee height, head cocked, no words required. ESPN's replay truck caught it, slowed it, replayed it, and the gesture metastasized across timelines before Reese could hustle back on defense. Taunts happen nightly in pro hoops, but this one carried extra venom because it spoke to a season-long narrative.
Washington has done that incredibly well so far. Reese missed the first one, still with it locked.
They realized that they were laughing and then quickly stopped themselves like, oh, I can't laugh. I'm live right now. I can't laugh. I'm live right now. Let me let me get real serious real quick.
Chicago's interior identity is paper thin. By the time Austin tucked her hand away, Twitter was saturated with freeze frames and caption contests. For Reese, the humiliation wasn't just being scored on, it was the public confirmation that foes no longer respect her paint presence, and they're bold enough to say so with cameras rolling. Austin's silent message echoed louder than any courtside heckler. Your glass cleaning numbers don't scare us, not when the rim is still wide open. But Washington's rookies wanted their own chapter in this saga, and they wrote it with historic ink.
Kira Austin going at him. Everybody's just going at him. The Chicago Sky are food. And I mean, it's just embarrassing to the point where it's like, you, like, as a Sky fan, y'all are probably happy y'all lost by less than 20 points today. And that is embarrassing. That is ridiculous. Y'all getting popped, bro. Y'all not just losing. Y'all getting smoked by 20 and 30 and 40 and almost 50. Bro, y'all are terrible. Something has to change. Something has to change.
Sonia Citron, 28 points, and Kiki Ariafin, 22 points, 10 rebounds, became the first rookie duo in Mystics history to drop 20-plus apiece in the same game, and they did it with veteran efficiency. Citron punished soft switches, draining pull-ups as if she'd been in the league a decade. Ariafin feasted on dives and putbacks, out-muscling Chicago's vets for every contested board. Their stat lines weren't empty air. They were oxygen for a Mystics squad clawing for the 8th seed.
Angel Reese went home and got cooked in front of everybody. She played a good game, but her team got destroyed. This team is pitiful. Pitiful. And the sad part is, it's not like they have anywhere to turn. Ariel Atkins didn't play today, but she ain't been winning them no game. It's not, they have nowhere to turn. They went and made moves in the offseason as if they had a team to go out and win games and try to compete right now. Going and giving up your young draft pick for Ariel Atkins, going and getting Vandersloot, who's hurt. I mean, I just don't understand the direction they thought they were going in. But this has been malpractice. From the management to the coaching to a lot of these players.
Each jumper silenced a Chicago run. Each and one forced the Sky to swallow the reality that their best young core claim may belong to someone else. Reese finished with more rebounds than either rookie, yet the eye test and the win column belonged to Washington's fearless pair. By night's end, highlight reels were less about Reese's streak and more about Citron's silky mid-range and Ariafin's power footwork. Meanwhile, a quieter battle was brewing behind the scenes, one rooted in Chicago's confused front office roadmap.
We have her reposting this. I'd be mad too if a girl who was beautiful, rich, famous, rich and famous, lifestyle of the rich and the famous. They always complaining, always complaining. Shout out to Good Charlotte, man. They were a quality band. They were a quality band. And well liked among her peers, comes in, breaks my records, gets promotion, brand deals I couldn't get, and then has the audacity to steal my vet. I'd be bitter. Uh-oh, Angel Reese reposted that. And then Angel Reese puts out her own tweet. Clout is one hell of a drug. Like, it really gets to a point. Oh, shots fired.
The Sky spent the offseason acting like a contender, flipping a draft pick for veteran scorer Ariel Atkins, luring injury-prone Courtney Vandersloot, and pitching their brand as skyscrapers with the best young core in basketball. The result? A roster that can't protect the cup, can't string stops, and now can't agree on its own trajectory. Post-game, Coach Tyler Marsh called out our inability to guard the paint, an indictment aimed straight at the front line. Management's gamble on immediate relevance backfired into the league's second-worst record, and every extra loss magnifies the cost of mortgage draft capital. Reese's double-double streak sells highlight thumbnails, but it can't patch systemic holes left by hasty roster shuffles. Fans who once rallied around a bold rebuild now wonder if the team is simply wandering, and each humiliating scoreline adds another layer of dread. In basketball, identity is everything, and Chicago's is cracked from the owner's suite down. Identity crises invite outside voices, and one Hall of Fame legend didn't hesitate to weigh in. Three-time champion Candace Parker shredded the polite script on her Post Moves podcast, ranking Angel Reese in the C tier and questioning whether she can carry any franchise. Parker's critique was surgical, not spiteful. Rebounding is a weapon, but to be above you have to anchor both ends. Reese's response wasn't a retooled post move, it was a cryptic tweet. Clout is one hall of a drug. The irony stunned even neutral observers, accusing a Hall of Famer of attention-seeking. When your own brand thrives on weekly controversies is risky business, but Twitter loved the drama. Fans split into Team Reese and Team Parker camps, stats were cherry-picked, and the original basketball point, impact beats numbers, got buried under hashtags. For Chicago, the public feud only intensified scrutiny. Every missed rotation now doubles as evidence for Parker's argument, and it set the stage for an uncomfortable comparison with players who elevate teammates instead of timelines. Enter the fever, proof that young stars can lift everyone around them without starting digital fires. Caitlin Clark walked into Indiana and transformed the fever from league punchline to playoff flirt inside one rookie campaign. Her passing unlocked Lexi Hull's corner three confidence, her off-ball gravity-carved driving lanes for Kelsey Mitchell, and her partnership with Aaliyah Boston birthed a two-way pick-and-roll nightmare. Clark's box scores sparkle, yes, but her chief accomplishment is intangible: belief. Opponents now brace for 40 minutes of pace and space mayhem, and Fever fans finally buy jerseys without irony. That rise isn't built on social quarrels. It's built on possessions that end with teammates high-fiving instead of sighing. Contrast that with the Sky slog, double-double headlines, defensive breakdowns, and a locker room so tense it feels like a trending topic waiting to happen. The lesson is blunt: impact measured in W's outranks, impact measured in follower counts. And the clock is ticking because the schedule ahead may carve Reese's narrative in stone. August hands Chicago a schedule mined with playoff hopefuls: Las Vegas, Connecticut, New York, while the Sky cling to less than 1% playoff probability. Reese's back, already flare-prone, faces nightly collisions with MVP candidates. If her defense doesn't stiffen, the double-double streak will look like trivia tucked beneath a double-digit loss column. Conversely, a breakthrough, rotating early, walling the rim, turning rebounds into instant offense, could pivot the narrative overnight. That fork is here. Evolve into a two-way cornerstone or cement the empty numbers label. Fans, analysts, even former heroes like Parker have weighed in. The only voice left is the one Reese writes with her next month of performances. Say morning radio shows, ESPN debate tables, and every blue-check account with a ring light latched onto the Mystics game like sharks scenting blood. Overnight, Angel Reese double-double stopped being a badge and became a punchline. Pundits scrolled the box score, circled her -17 plus-minus, and sneered, "Empty calories." The narrative metastasized: stat-chasing, marketing mirage, rookie wall in disguise. Even normally neutral hosts couldn't resist the pitchfork rhythm. Was the Sky's culture broken, or had it been photoshopped around one charismatic rebounder from day one? Fans woke up to montage clips spliced with laughing cry emojis, and by noon, Reese's name trended below Citron and Iriafen historic. When mainstream commentary starts labeling you a mirage, every dribble becomes testimony. Brand managers love highlight reels, but they love W's more. Chicago's 7-game skid has Fortune 500 partners whisper auditing ROI reports in backroom Zooms. Rumor mill says 2 regional campaigns paused creative revisions after the Mystics collapse. Sneaker reps have set performance clauses on early activation bonuses. It's nothing official yet, but agency chatter leaked. We can't tie Q3 launches to a story that keeps ending in blowouts. Reese's social reach remains gold, but engagement dips each time fans screenshot a loss. Suddenly, her Instagram captions about stacking hustle points feel hollow when scoreboard stories trend the opposite. Money hasn't walked, it's merely tapping its foot. Inside the locker room, that nervous drumbeat sounds louder than any halftime speech. Reporters caught a brief post-game glimpse of Sky veterans exchanging eye rolls after a question about moral victories. One anonymous quote surfaced in a beat writer's column, "We can't keep pretending 20-10 fixes 103-86. Teammates respect Reese's motor, but whisper about blown rotations and late switches that force scramble mode. Camila Cardoso, silent most of the year, was spotted holding an extended one-on-one with assistant coach Olaf Lang by the freight elevator, gesturing toward the paint like she was mapping crime scene evidence. It isn't mutiny, but strain radiates off every folded arms huddle. Chemistry cracks rarely explode. They leak, drip by drip, until hardwood feels like thin ice. Coaching staff feels that creak with every step, and the playbook revisions start getting desperate. Coach Marsh faces a riddle. Benching or minimizing his marquee rookie risks headlines, but persisting with the same scheme courts weekly public floggings. At Tuesday's practice, he trialed a small ball lineup. Vandersloot, Mabry, Copper, Cardoso at the 5, Reese floating in a point-forward role on offense, then zoning up weak side on D early scrimmage numbers. Offense flowed. Defense still hemorrhaged drives. Marsh scribbled, erased, paced. He knows August opponents will spam that too small clip if something doesn't change. Coaches have lost jobs over less viral moments, and front offices rarely fire rosters. Strategy tweaks aren't about X's and O's anymore. They're about narrative triage. Meanwhile, Reese herself is staring down a mirror far harsher than any tweet storm. Every great pro hits a crossroads where raw hustle must evolve into refined dominance. For Reese, that fork is arriving 2 years earlier than most because media magnification warped her timeline. The question is brutally simple. Can she pivot from rebound Grim Reaper to two-way cornerstone, or will she become the prototype cautionary tale of the stats-first era? She's 23, yes, but brand expectations make her feel 28. In private workouts, you'll see her practicing drop-step counters, quick hip hedges, and offhand shot alterations, drills that scream, "I hear you." But drills don't tweet, and patience is short in a league hungry for the next Clark-level draw. Comparisons only intensify when rival rookies sprint past the same mile markers. Up the coast, Cameron Brink, drafted one slot after Reese, anchors the Sparks' defense with a wingspan that seems to bend shot trajectories by sheer rumor. ESPN's defensive win share graphics now feature Brink side-by-side with Aja Wilson and Nneka Ogwumike. Analysts ask, why hasn't Chicago unlocked similar rim protection from the NCAA's rebound queen? It's an unfair binary. Player context matters, but TV loves split screens. Each Brink highlight is an unspoken indictment of Chicago's schemes and Reese's footwork. Fans who once chanted "Bayou Barbie" start doom-scrolling Brink clips, and that psychic shift burns worse than any technical foul. And as comparisons multiply, fan patience fragments into open-air judgment. Sky Twitter once defended Reese like family. Now replies split, half rallying behind "give her time," half firing "trade while values high." Salvos. Home game attendance dips despite giveaways. Jerseys still sell, but more as pop culture merch than team pride. Every empty seat echoes louder during a 17-point loss. Message boards track plus-minus trends like stock prices. Dip days spawn meltdown threads. Upticks spawn "she heard us" optimism. That volatility wears on a locker room, a front office, and especially on the face of the franchise. Momentum in pro sports is fickle. Goodwill even more. If Reese doesn't flip the script soon, Chicago's faithful might decide the sequel isn't worth a ticket. One blowout, one viral taunt, 2 rookie record breakers, a Hall of Famer's candid tier list, sponsorship side glances, locker room side-eye, and a fan base on the fence all orbit the same gravitational question. Can Angel Reese translate spectacular stats into sustainable wins? History rewards players who answer criticism with evolution, not quotations. August offers 17 days and 6 playoff-caliber opponents to author a comeback narrative, or stamp a cautionary label next to every future double-double. So weigh in. Would you double down on Chicago's star or cash out before the market cools? Type "me bounds" if you're betting on growth, smash like if you crave results over rhetoric, and hit subscribe, because our next deep dive unpacks the rookie arms race reshaping the entire WNBA.